Alright, everybody. We are here with a banging series. We're finally getting around to casting it. It is, of course, NC Sports Serral in the top right, playing against Team Liquid's Clem in the bottom left. It's a best of 5 series, and it's the lower bracket finals of the DreamHack Atlanta EU Regionals. These are replays that never dropped the regional sets until a long while after the tournament's actually over, and then, of course, they dropped it right before we actually went to Atlanta, and I was in America for a few weeks. But we're finally here, casting this one. In the lower bracket finals, Serral did manage to defeat Clem 3-1 in the upper bracket. You guys would have seen my cast of that, which I put up about a month ago now. A very good series. Serral did a lot of roach play. He said, look, Clem's really annoying. He can pick off pretty much unlimited Ling Bane with his micro, and it's just harassment. So I'm just going to play Roach Ravager to make it so his drops can't be as annoying, because the ranged units kill the Marines very quickly. And I'm going to go back into Ling Bane off of that and just swarm over him. And it worked very well in that series. We're going to see if Clem has a different answer to it. Now, I've criticized Clem for basically never proxy barracksing his opponents and therefore being way too predictable. And also for the fact that he almost always goes 3 command center versus Zerg and just kind of, you know, it's like, if you let him get going, he plays amazingly and fantastically, but he does have some clear weaknesses that he sometimes doesn't seem to really put any preparations for, and that is the fact that, like, big run-bys can surprise him, right? He doesn't necessarily look out for those, but, like, if you let him be the guy who just drops you and picks away at you, attacks from multiple sides, Clem ascends to this god-tier mythical creature, especially in this matchup, Terran versus Zerg, but really in most of the matchups, where he can't be stopped because his micro is so good. When he's picking where and when the fights happen, his micro is insane. His just positioning is fantastic. And that's something where he can make incredible comebacks. So I think Serral looks at this as very much a battle of, okay, how do I get on top of him into a very dominant position and then put him in the ground? Because I can't just sit back and play a completely stock standard game. We've got to throw some curveballs to get some advantages. Ooh, already the Reaper gets a Zergling kill. Nicely done there. But pretty good micro there by Serral. Needs to inject in that main. Creep Tumor on the natural, and well done. Overlord has snuck around the backside. The Marine actually not snuck. it managed to make it past, but the Marine did a lot of damage to it. That means Clem is well aware of what's happening. He goes for that quick third command center. Clem doing what Clem does best, getting up a big economy and looking to try and parade over on 3 base. Now, I'd like to see Widowmine play from Clem. He's been using that a little bit more recently as the Reaper spazzes out a little bit there. So he's been using the Widowmine play, whereas there was a while where it was just siege tank, and I definitely feel it wasn't his strongest play. Oh my god! Guys, he's going second factory. He's going to play Blue Flame Hellion. Ooh, he's going to do a Blue Flame opening versus Serral. Now, that could be into mech. More likely it's back into bio. I don't think Clem has a lot of faith in his ability to play mech up against Serral. Serral is so good versus mech, and Clem almost never plays mech. I think I've seen him do it in TVT a few times back in the day. Okay, here we go. Ooh, ow, 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 ow. Okay, Reaper almost goes down, but doesn't quite. Overlord coming in on the natural, sees the gas there, but he doesn't know if that's the second or the third gas. He's going to try and float on forwards. And there we go. We've got a starport. Wait, a starport goes down. Interesting. So he's going to be going Blue Flame Hellions and following up with starport units. Overlord there. Blue Flame is on the way. The Marine takes so long to kill it. Overlord, he's like, please die, please die, please die. The fact that the buildings are hid already gives alarm bells. Already, Serral's like, okay, what the hell is this? And if I were him, I'd be dropping like a Baneling Nest. You know, I'd just be playing very safe and solid here. Ling Bane Queen can absolutely defend this. As long as he's well positioned enough, Serral has the right setup. He's on 6 queens, going to 8 queens. He's got his drone count growing. His third base is up to 10 workers already here. And he gets Zerglings in! Oh, he sees the Blue Flame on the way. And, I mean, if he needed an excuse to play the Roaches from their previous series, this is definitely that. I would not be surprised if a Roach Horn goes down right away, gets a handful of Roaches out, plays it from there. But Serral, cocky, feels like he can do it with just Ling Bane Queen. And you know what? I mean, with this much warning, a 9th Queen on the way, he's probably correct. This is a really hard spot because if you commit and you know that Serral already knows about this, you're basically rolling a dice on Serral being incompetent. Clem knows that Serral is not incompetent. The greatest player of all time and incompetent are two words that don't normally go, you know, or a phrase in a word that don't normally go together. Those do not pair up. The Vikings coming on forward here. He's going to try and pick off this Overlord. He's got an armory coming in behind it, which is, I guess, so we can morph Hellbats nice and early. He doesn't even have engineering based. I mean, okay, some of you may have heard of the term up shit creek without a paddle. That's where Clem is right now. He's going to try to do a Hellion run by on the left while doing a Hellion drop in the main. Maybe he makes some magic happen, but that's really what he's aiming for, magic. Because he can't. I mean, this is a bad spot. He's way behind on the E-Bays. Yes, he's got a third base, and he's got a good economy, so it's not like it's the most committed Blue Flame, and he's preserved his units well. It's just, I don't know, man. This has been spotted on the south side. Serral, where is he? Where is Zerglings? Zerglings and Banelings coming back in here. Let's see what these Hellions can get. The Sporkrul is going to get a lot of damage done on that. Oh, he morphs the Hellbats. Cute move, but I think the Banelings and the Queen should deal with it. Oh, he spreads the Hellbats out with the drop. Very cute maneuver. And, oh, he's actually getting a good little trade here. Hellions diving on the left side as well. Evo Chamber, Evo Chamber. Oh my god, Serral. Serral with the Evo Chamber wall-offs. Sick moves, yet he's still losing a few of them as the Reaper does slide in. Serral has lost 10 drones, but oh, he's got some Zerglings in. He does kill a few SCVs on the behind as well. Cleans up the drop in the main by the looks of it. 10 drones in total go down. And he gets 6 SCVs. Not too bad, man. Those two Lings got 2 more SCVs. I'm very surprised at that. And another SCV goes down to friendly fire. Hellions are still darting in around the 4th, slowing down Serral. But Serral at the end of that, he's on 70 workers. He's going double Hydroden. That's a mistake, of course. He's gone literally 2 Hydrodens. Serral's heart is racing right now. You can tell Clem forced a bit of fight or flight response there. He got the adrenaline pumping through his veins. But Serral, yeah, he might have his adrenaline pumping, but he's kicking ass. He is up 20 workers. He got the superior units lost tab in that it's even, and he's on 4 base versus 3 base. The upgrades are ahead for Serral. 1-1 just started for Terran. Carapace is almost finished. Melee half done. Serral's got 81 workers. He's going to be building Hydras in the near future. His creep did get slowed down a little bit, but it's going to be moving on out there. And he's even getting ready for a bit of a Baneling run by. Baneling speeds up, and he's going to roll these Banes into that 3rd base mineral line. Here we go. Widowmine play is coming out. I was calling for that from Clem, and he is somehow up in supply. I still think this is a very bad spot to be in, though, just because those upgrades. You're going to look at a lot of these fights, think, hey, these numbers are good for Terran, and you're going to be surprised by how poorly the Terran units perform. Terran is usually ahead on upgrades, so we're going to see the opposite of what you're used to. It's not just being slightly behind on the upgrades, it's being massively behind. Big Widowmine hit, though. Serral with a big clump up there. Goes from equal resources. Lost to -500. Oh, and he doesn't micro his Banelings very well. He was microing on the front. A lot of SCVs in the red, but none of them actually dying. Banelings looking for the big juicies. They get it on the Hellbats, but most of the Marines do get saved. Nice micro by Clem. Units lost tab, you can see reasonably even. Oh, if those Banelings hit the center of those SCVs, that would be such a crucial amount of damage. Nonetheless, I do think Serral is ahead in this game. As Hydras come out with these Queens, he's going to make it much harder as well for the double drop harassment to kind of be annoying. But where are those Hydras? He's not building them just yet. He's still making just Ling Bane. Serral should be shutting this down with a little bit more of that stuff. These Widow Mines, oh, not the perfect spreadies by any means. 17 kills, 5 kills, and 6 kills. Some Widowmine damage getting in. Clem is just fighting back. Serral needs to keep going. He needs to keep rolling Baneling run-bys in. And he needs anti-air. He's building nothing but Ling Bane right now. How are these drops finding so much damage? And they keep saving the units at the last second. Where are the Hydras? Serral needs to get something to shut these drops down, and he needs to do it fast because he is getting overrun by some multi-drops. Clem is in the driver's seat. You cannot let Clem get back into the driver's seat. Uh-oh, this is what I'm talking about. The units lost time is starting to run away in Clem's favor. He goes back in the natural, sees the units are there, redrops in the main base. He's got the southern watchtower controlled and contained. He's got that drop on the left watchtower, both watchtowers and a drop in the back of the base. Picks off some Banelings and then just rotates the drop around. 10 Hydras are on the way. He's got the Hydra upgrades. Both of them are now finished. Serral regaining control of this situation a little bit. but even defending a 5th base on Data C can be quite difficult, and Terran does not need that 5th base nearly as early as the Zerg. Marines dropping into the Zerglings, not getting the best trade, but another army on the south side. Now remember, he only has 1 medevac, so he can't pick up and evacuate these Marines. It's a bit of a risky maneuver, but he's relying on his drop in the main being annoying to make it worthwhile. Hydras and Lings are patrolling between those bases. Serral's trying to come down this south side. He's got 2 Overseers, none of them's here right now. The Widowmine's up front, going to cause him a little bit of problems. The Widowmine gets a decent hit. Baneling's not really connecting with anything in the top left. The Queen Hydra does shoot down a full medevac. Finally, Serral gets a win in the bag. A W there, but 4 Marines coming in the back. Serral's on top of it. He is quick. And look at that. Cleans up those Marines. Does some damage to the medevacs as well. At least one of those will die. Good chance both of them do go down. Widowmine drop came in at the same time. Looks like the Banelings clear that up. A total of 15 drones versus 12 SCVs have died this game. Clem on 4 base, stable, going up to 8 barracks with the tech labs. He should have 2 factories. Indeed, it looks like he does. He's got 1 reactor and the tech lab still in the back as well. Oh! The Banelings rolling on forwards. Not quite getting the connection, but Clem lost a lot of Marines that could not pick up. Overseer cleans up the Widowmine. Serral needs to keep respreading this creep. He's defended his 5th base, and he's adding pathogen glands, burrow, and a bunch of other upgrades. He's got +2 melee about to finish. He's going into range now that his carapace is there. 2-2, only just starting for Clem. And remember what I talked about, those upgrades not being great. He's been distracting Serral, getting good angles on the fights, and then also getting good Widowmine hits. But Serral's got Hydras everywhere now, which means Clem needs to be way more attentive. If he's not watching for a moment, his medevacs get shot down. Okay, army on the left gets cleaned up, pushed off the watchtower. Serral's going to move down this right side as well. He's adding a lurker den here. A lot of these Marines are getting picked off, but setting up a bit of a field of Widowmines in the tall grass. Serral, ooh, does take 2 Widowmine hits to the Zerglings. I think he could just A-move these units and get rid of them, personally. But of course, he's got a micro on 2 fronts at once, and that's easier said than done. The medevac pickup! So dangerous there, but it does get off. And these units, oh my, Serral starting to gather up in the middle. He's cleaned up the Widowmine field on the right. He's still on 5 bases now with Adrenal Glands. He's also got Neural Parasite on the way. He is preparing for the late game with a couple of Infestors, no doubt, building in the near future. They haven't started yet, but he will add those in to catch the ghosts once we get to that stage of the game. And the question for Clem is, how in the heck do you ever establish a 5th base? Serral has got such a big army out here. He's got so much Lingbane Hydra. The Lings take some Widowmine hits. That Widowmine could be really good, though. Oh, there's more Widowmines, more Widowmines. Oh, some big juicies. A 15 kill hit there on that Widowmine. Not that many units on the top left. The drone's trying to evacuate the Lingbane. Having to pull back to morph more Banelings here. Serral caught with his army. A little bit lopsided. Too many units on the right, not enough on the left. He does split some units. The Baneling Hydra going to push back this drop that tries to come in on the right side. 5th base goes down. Serral back to 4 bases. He's popping a base up on this right side, but it's not there yet. His creep spread has been severely limited. Still that red hit point medevac from the earlier drop just sitting in the back. Oh no, the Widowmine! Another juicy Widowmine hit. My god, the Widowmine hits have been really out of this world, and I'll tell you what, it hurts. It hurts Serral as a Zerg player because he knows he's taking hits that he normally doesn't, and that's going to affect his mentality. It's going to make him feel like he's losing these battles, and it's going to put a lot of mental pressure on him. He does set off some Banelings, takes those Widowmines out before they can fire. Nice moves for Serral. Gets back in control. He's got creep spreading up the middle. No active tumors on this side. He's got 9 queens, but it looks like they're mostly situated in the top left of the map. He's got to respread tumors on this bottom flank as well. Nidus does go up in the back door right now. Clem. Oh, giant flanking Widowmine. My god, the Widowmine hits are just out of control this game. It feels like they're always catching Serral when his screen just isn't there. Whether it's slow reactions or a bit of bad luck, probably a little bit of column A and a bit of column B. Definitely not the way he wants things to go. Lurkers popping out in the main though, and another one going up. Dude, this is really annoying to fight into for Clem. Serral should be attacking the front at the same time. This is such a big distraction. No scan? Oh man, he's getting blasted. Finally, Widowmine's getting some big hits, but a giant attack at the front at the same time. Serral's going to try to take advantage of this, going on the 3rd base. Command Center's in the open. Banelings need to go for that mineral line. Serral's got to take advantage of this. Oh, SCVs are in the open. He hasn't taken advantage of it. Serral, he's a little hesitant. He's taken out a lot of the units, but a lot of Link Bane goes down. He only gets 6 SCVs, and I gotta say, wasted opportunity. Leaves a few Hydras behind as well. What? I think he could have easily killed this 5th base, which is the most important base, or at least cleared the full mineral line. Serral missing an opportunity. Despite the Nidus Worm going off without a hitch, he's got to keep those Nidus Worms popping up. Anything to keep his opponent back. He's spreading Infestors out, which is cool. One in the top left, one in the bottom right. That's what he usually does, and he uses these to try and catch either the Ghosts or the Bios so the Banelings can connect with them. He's got a great economy on 87 workers. I just worry that he's giving Clem a little bit too much time to get all these extra command centers up. Clem's going to use this very well to add more orbitals, get that Iron Bank. About to be at 7 orbital command centers is Clem, at which point he's going to have unlimited scans, and he'll be able to start trading SCVs out soon as well. Widowmine gets a decent hit. Nice pickup. Infestor from the low ground was hoping those units would clump up and he could fungal. For those who don't know, you cannot pick up a fungal unit. You have to wait for the fungal to wear off. We've got the Ghosts, the Widowmines, the Liberators, and the Bio marching forwards here. We've got the Lingbane Hydra Queen coming in from the right side. Widowmines with a nice spready. The Banelings are very clumped. Oh, luckily does not drag that shot into his units. Ghost starting to get some snipes off, though. Serral will evict him from the left watchtower, but Serral's sitting back. He's got to push these positions back. He can't just be chilling. He's got to look for that big fungal. Just dive on it, land the fungal. Go, 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 go! He gets one fungal! He does get EMP'd before the second one can land, but still gets a very good fight. Unfortunately, he did take some Widowmines to the face, though. Even though he killed a lot of those bio units, his Widowmines, the Widowmines got big shots, and the Infestor, does get blasted down. Clem not giving up control of that area. This drop being a bit of a nuisance. The Lings will tear it down, but at the same time, he denies Serral's base in the bottom right. Great awareness from Serral to cancel that in time. And here we go. This base on the right side is the target of Clem's harassment. More Infestors are being built. Serral still not making any more Lurkers other than the ones that he nidused earlier. And he's not attacking this left side, which is completely open. If Serral just goes first and attacks, he can take good fights. The problem is right now he is intimidated by sensor towers. He sees the sensor towers. Oh, great fungal in the main, but the Spore goes down and fungal on its own will not be enough. The Infestor gets sniped down. Big drop there. Hatchery on the left side is in peril as well. Oh no, another Infestor pops out and dies. Very unfortunate Infestor spawning locations. At least the drop will go down in the main. Serral cleans up that one on the left. Widowmines get a lot of friendly fire on the medevacs, but they kill all the Zerg units and they don't kill any of the Terran units. They just damage them. Oh man, Clem just literally, did he just win the game? He just dropped the main, killed a ton of stuff, killed so much on the left with those Widowmines going off, and then he just like basically pulls back and says, nah, I got your economy. Clem does not have a lot of defensive infrastructure. He doesn't have tanks layered back. He does not have anything going on. This is absolutely massive. The medevacs are pulling over to the left side as well. We've got Lingbane Hydra, the Vipers there as well. We've got all these units coming on in. Liberators trying to move to that right side. Lingbane Hydra coming forth. The Widowmines are there as well. Make sure you guys hit the exclamation mark best games if you're watching live in chat, and please explain to the constant stream of people we have coming in during these streams. These are, of course, highlight matches from previous games. You cannot cast the best games of StarCraft live. It simply does not work. Lingbane Hydra trying to gather up. Serral's just got to dive. If he just gathers half of his army and shoves this left base, it's not entrenched. There's no planetary there. He can kill all these orbitals and get way ahead, but Serral is sitting back too long here. He's letting Clem pick the engagements. And Clem picking the engagements, especially now as he reinforces this position, I don't think there's any way Serral can defend here. He's got to give up this area, shove the left side, give up the bottom right, rotate your drones out of here. Get out of there. He gets EMP'd on the Infestor. Serral needs to be proactive. He cannot be receiving the punches of Clem. It's just not going to work in the late game for you to sit back against a Terran like this. You've got to be the one who picks where the fights happen. The Widowmine slaying the Lingbane. He's going to try and shove the left side, but that's only with a small section of army. And the Widowmine fields are causing so much pain. There's snipes on the retreat as well. He's going to shove the right side as well, but oh my god, the Widowmine shots have just been slaying him. Finally, Serral gets the big boomy and takes out the planetary, but 20 SCVs just left standing there right next to the Banelings. What a disaster. Cloak Ghosts running into this base. That is a big problem. Serral running Zerglings in, but he doesn't have an Overseer. Oh no, he's got no detection. These Ghosts, it's a shooting gallery. Oh, dude. Nice split against the Widowmine. The Lings and the Banes running on top, trying to intimidate him to running away, but Clem realizing this is a chaotic game, he's just going to stand his ground. The Marines and the Ghosts are coming on forwards and trying to just take out this base down here. We're going to see if the Marines and the Ghosts can clear out these units. Yes, they can. Here we go. Medevacs there on that side as well. And, okay, going to start gunning those ones down. We've got Banelings there. Marines, Marauders, Widowmines coming forward. The Ghosts as well. Widowmines can potentially shoot on this. Ling's running in on this base as well. Serral's starting to get some damage done, but he's out of bank, and that's a problem. One bad fight, one bad fight, and Serral is out of this, and he's lost his entire bottom right economy. Now he's starting to lose his top left economy. He needs to stop this army, and he needs to stop it in its tracks right now, but he's getting sieged from the high ground. Meanwhile, Clem reestablishes the bottom right, and he's got a planetary in the top left. Clem has income Serral. He does not have much right now. He has to defend a random swarm host waddling its way into the battle. Says, I'm here to fight with the boys. The Widow Mine! How many game-ending Widow Mines can there be in one map? Serral has just been getting hammered by those Widow Mines from start to finish, and his attack is stopped in its tracks. The planetary holds firm. Clem counter-strikes on the right side. The Ghost of the Marines running on in. Oh no, this was a situation where I thought Serral was in an okay spot, but he did not punish Clem's momentum. Unlike Maru, Maru would have stopped being as aggressive as Clem a long time earlier and invested in defense. Maru would have had 4 planetaries up and tanks spread across all these bases. Clem did not, but Serral did not take advantage of it. Clem taking a very nice game 1 victory even after his Blue Flame Hellion tech is scouted. Remember, there was that giant attack here. I think the biggest opportunity was when that Lurker Nidus popped up, guys. I've got to say the Lurker Nidus had to be the biggest missed opportunity in this game. Let's just find that moment and look at it one more time, because I definitely think that's where Serral could have won the game. Getting a Nidus up, 4 Lurkers in the main, killing a ton of bio with it. I mean, it's a gift. It is an absolute gift. I think he was already a little bit, just a little slow to defend the Widow Mines. His hands were betraying him a little bit. There was just so many of these Widow Mine shots that you could tell Serral was a bit triggered, maybe tilted, thrown off his game, distracted, whatever you want to call it. He wasn't playing his absolute best with so many Widow Mines hitting him, and I think it started to impact him and make him play a little bit worse. Despite that, he was setting up so well for the late game. And I mean, the thing is, Clem spotted this coming, but he didn't build a Viking to deal with it, the Overseer, when it snuck past. He knew that this was going to be coming, but Serral jumps forward on the front, distracts him. Another huge Widow Mine, man. There were so many of those, wasn't there? But this Nidus Worm was a great opportunity. I really would have loved to see Serral just shove this right side. But Serral was often trying to attack in many places at once, and I would have liked him to be a little bit more threaten with a Nidus, but otherwise grab your whole army and just shove it on top of a base. It's hard because Clem's so active with his drops and counters, you feel you need to be spread out to deal with it. But this was not the best base to attack. It was okay, and I think, you know, especially if he got these command centers before they finished and was able to kill them, or had like if he has like 10, 12 Hydras here, he could maybe not only kill the libs, but also kill the command centers. And if he splits some Banelings into that left side, that'd be big. Hats off to Clem for leaving his tank on the high ground from the early game. That tank really helps defend the mineral line, and only losing 6 SCVs and no command centers, this is a crucial point in the game. Clem only has 3 orbital command centers, but he's able to make a 4th, a 5th here, a 6th, a 7th, and suddenly he has a gigantic economy and endless scans, and Lurkers aren't that big a problem. This is also a point in the game where Serral very well, with what I would say is a little bit of a tempo advantage, could have opted to go into Lurkers in a big way, and I don't think Clem has an answer, because he's got 3 Ghosts, 1 tank, and 7 Widow Mines. Otherwise, it's Marine Marauder. So if Serral committed to just a big chunk of Lurkers and attacks this base next, there's no answer. Maybe he has barely enough scans, but he doesn't have anything other than scans. But Serral gives him time to up his Ghost count, lets him cement this base on the right, never really groups up to attack it, and he doesn't really ever attack this left side ever again for the rest of the game. And the problem with the architecture in this map is you're covering such a big front that we saw what happens when Clem's able to push down these corners and abuse like all these little ridges and choke points and set up Widow Mines everywhere. It felt like Serral was never punishing him and running in and just, you know, shoving into his defenses and forcing Clem to reorganize his whole army. And as a result, Clem was just able to pick at him, set up these little skirmishes where he just traded so well. So he was down 3,000 resources lost at that point with Serral. At the end of the game, he was down 10,000 resources. It just got less and less efficient until he was drained of money. Oh, right. Well, let's see if he can bring it back. We're on to Stargazers next. And I think this is the Terran map pick, so a bit of a bummer to lose his map in map 1. This is Serral. In the top left, we've got Clem. I haven't actually watched too many Zerg vs Terrans on this map. I feel like Zerg often want to take out like Waterfall as a very small map, or Inside Out potentially. But this map as well causes issues because the Terran gets a 3rd there, and then they can push along this northern path, mine out these minerals, and it's just very choked up, this area of the map. It's kind of hard to deal with. If you want to counterattack around that push path, you've got to go all the way down the south. It just takes a long time for your backstabs to get in position. And it feels like this whole north side of the map is very droppable, as well as the push path right through the center and maybe towards that bridge. Very hard to stop. Zerg normally expands down the bottom of the map and trying to get towards the gold base eventually, while the Terran just takes a very compact 3 base, 4 base setup, and then only expands down here as their 5th. Mutalisks, something we haven't seen in a little while. I do wonder if Mutas is an option. I feel like this map's not great for it because there's no real dead space to hide. You can maybe hide in the back there, but there's no way out. You can see that basically the edges allow Marines and turrets and whatnot to basically cut off those Mutalisks, whereas there's maps where there's a lot of space behind the back, like Moondance, where the Mutalisks have a lot of room to work. The reason we don't see Mutalisks on Moondance is the push path is so short, you don't get a chance to get into your Mutalisks before you just die. So it's an awkward one. Yeah, Moondance is probably the #1 map to veto, actually, for Zerg versus Terran. Just because the push path on that map is the shortest of all, and the Terran gets a free expansion. We can't forget in that last game, Serral did a Bane speed run by. He could have killed the entire mineral line on Clem's 3rd, but he was distracted by the push. And he took giant Widowmine hits in the very first fight against that push as well. So a giant Widowmine seems to be the name of that last game. And that's a traumatic experience for the Zerg. I don't think it's one where Serral just keels over in the next game. I think Serral... I mean, I would love to see the Roaches. I think Roaches would have been made his whole life so much easier in that last game as well. I mean, he crushed Clem with Roach openings in the upper bracket match they played. So I really want to see more of those Roach openings, get the Roach Ravager just to allow you to get up to the Ling Bane and see how it goes from there. Gets a Zergling kill. Clem's Reaper's very annoying. Queen gets bounced towards it. She will put a Creep Tumor down in a rather conservative position. Ling's posturing forward there, and the Queen will push that Reaper back. 3rd Command Center already going down there, and the Overlord has seen it, so Serral knows exactly what he's up against. It's the Clem standard. Very quick 3 bases, right up into non-stop bio pressure, and if it's anything like that last game, high chance of bio mine being the focused. Second barracks on the way for Clem. Ooh, he's going to go the 2-1-1. Interesting. Reaper trying to poke on forward here. He wants to get a Creep Tumor, but it's being protected on the south side. Definitely wouldn't mind him putting another Tumor down here right now. Serral's so careful with that Tumor. Waits till he has 3 Queens to protect it. Wow, the Clem Reaper truly does demand respect. Look at him dancing back and forwards. Serral's just like, you little shit. Alright, 3rd base, getting some drones rallied to it. Barracks is going to lift out onto the reactor. Starport goes down, and we'll see another reactor there when he hits 50 gas. Whoop. Marines pushing back the Overlord. Seeing that Barracks already back on the reactor tells Serral that this is probably what's happening. Ooh, okay. Lings and Queens will push back these units. No drones went down, but getting a Zergling pick off just for damage on the Reaper, always a very good trade for Clem, who's only built 2 Hellions. So it's very important he keeps these alive, otherwise Lings could flood across the map and cause him issues. Nice Queen split here from Serral. Going up to 9 Queens is the Finnish Phenom. I'm still curious what the next step is for Clem. I mean, obviously he's just going to look for damage with the drops, but is it just straight up Biomine play? Does he commit hard to a 3-base push? What variations do we see? Bailey Nest, second gas goes down in the main. Oh, that Creep Tumor goes down. New one gets popped immediately. First 2 medevacs are here, up to 10 Marines, so looks like he should get to about 16 Marines just after the medevacs pop. Probably will go across the map with about 14 Marines, and then let the extras come out later. Here we go, time to get that double drop across this map. Clem, there we go. It's a few more Marines inside the medevac. He boosts straight across. You can tell he's told these guys already to go forwards, maybe checking the watchtower and then moving in towards the main base of Serral. Serral does not have Evo chambers just yet. I would expect those in the next few seconds. He's got a nice 4th base. This started before the 5-minute mark, which is epic. Does he have enough Lings right now? Definitely not. Those queens need to get up here, and those lings need to pull back. Stim is pretty early. Serral needs to pull back those lings. Okay. Queen's coming forward. Nice transfuses. Oh, we get some good damage on the medevac as well. Great start to the defense for Serral. Instantly pop some more creep tumors down. Clem's just going to back off for now. Be very cautious. Double Evo chamber on the way for Serral. The upgrades, on the other hand, for Clem have already started, so he's going to have about a 45-second, 30 to 40-second upgrade advantage. And he's got a 4th and 5th barracks on the way. Widowmine production, it is. So Clem's going to play a similar style to that last game. Let's see if Serral can clean up his defense. Watch for his micro versus the Widowmines. That's the biggest thing I'm looking for. In big battles, we're going to see if he can kind of spread his Zerglings forward. The way you do that is you basically take your front layer of Zerglings and you spread them forwards through the Terran army to lure the Widowmine shots away from your Banelings and away from the big clump of Lingbane that comes in behind the front rank. If he can do that really well, that'll be great. On the other hand, Clem's very quick at retargeting mines sometimes when he's paying attention. Ooh, a couple Marines get taken out. Nice moves by Serral, getting creep all the way out to the edge. Creep through the middle of the map as well. 80 workers, and he's actually going Spire. So Serral's going to play Mutas this game. Very late Mutas. But that'll be good for controlling the map, and he could just fly in and do massive damage if this drop isn't up here to spot it. Coming in with another double drop, I feel like Clem, yeah, working this angle is kind of annoying, but the fact that there's no presence in the south side means Serral only has one thing to look at. Unlike the last game where Clem was constantly attacking in 2 places at once, this is a much more chill situation for Serral. No excuses if he takes giant Widowmine shots this time around. Scan does take out some of the tumors, but he barely misses those 2 tumors up there. Oh, that's nasty, man. And here we go. Lingbane thinking about going down. He's got to be careful. Oh, the Widowmine does get 9 kills, but the Banelings kill everything. Oh, Clem not watching, and Serral gets the big juicies. Very tasty trade for him. And that is terrible for Clem. He's just taken a 4th base, and Serral's like, hey, I've got 90 drones, 10 mutas on the way. Oh man, if those mutas get to kind of show themselves their first time with a fly into the mineral line, it's going to be devastating. Serral also could probably start setting up some Bane run-bys on the south side, even though there's a sensor tower up. That would not be a bad idea at all. Good double drop in the south is going to start picking some units off. Mutas are out. I don't think Clem saw those popping, which means this could easily be a one-way trip. Another double drop going down, another 20 supply falling would be a disaster for the French player. He's running away, which makes me think he realizes what's happening, but maybe not. Oh, no! Good hot pick up there for Clem, but the medevacs will be taken down. The mutas take out one medevac, and the second one, Hellbat's stuck out there as well. Medevac just stimming on forward to see exactly what's going on. Clem is in a bad spot right now because the creep is just spreading. It's not really challenged in any big way. It's being respread in every single area. He's still got a lot of bio mine. He could definitely come back with the right hits, but the infestation pit's on the way. 2-2 upgrades are also pretty much in line. He's only got about a 10-second upgrade advantage now. Banelings rolling in towards Hellbat's Marines mines. There we go. Muta's doing exactly what they can. Widowmine's not really getting the big hits they're looking for. This is the problem for Clem. He's got such a small army, he can't really back up the Widowmines, and so it's so much easier for Serral to do his spreadies. Bane Muta just chipping at him. Clem's still trying to hold position in the middle of the map, but he is outgunned and outnumbered. These side Widowmines that he's been putting off to the edges that have been catching big hits in that last game have not landed this time. And in fact, Serral actually is ahead in the units lost tab. His mutas with that Overseer doing a great job. 6 more mutas on the way. It's going to be 20 mutalisks in total. The mutas. A very good unit for just controlling Clem's aggression. I think he's like screw sitting back defensively. Mutas are going to make it way harder for you to just pick the fights. Look at that. Picks off a turret. Does pick off another SCV with the bounce damage. But 4 missile turrets enough to scare him off for now. Oh, 8 drones just went down. Big boom boom drop. 12 drones in total. Oh, that's a nasty drop. That is very well done by Clem. The drones are chasing after it. The push in the middle, keeping Serral distracted. How is the supply so close? Serral was so ahead for a while. He's still got a lot of lings ready for a backstab. I think he's getting ready for a giant Ling Bane backstab when there's a lot of fighting going on elsewhere. Not a bad play, but where's his hive? Serral's infestation pit finished about a minute ago. He's not making a hive. He's making 7 more workers. I mean, his mutas are doing okay. They're picking off some Widow Mines, which is fantastic. He's still got to be cautious, though. Picks off a Marauder. Oh, that's a good trade, man. The Ling Bane's going to roll in. There is some units there up guarding that wall. He's going for it. His gold base looking like it might be in trouble. Oh no, Muta's flying into mass turrets. Banelings. Oh, he accidentally detonated all of them. He meant to only detonate 3, but he accidentally detonates every single one. Big mistake for Serral there. Serral comes in, picks off that Widow Mine though. He loses all the Link Bane. That could have been so much more damage. He could have had like 6 Banelings in the mineral line. He loses his gold base in the south side. Clem is looking large and in charge right now and back in the driver's seat. Is Clem going too deep though? If Serral can take the correct fight, this might be okay for him. He's got 17 mutas, 6 more on the way. Banelings coming forward, trying to set off these Widow Mines and take out what he can, but some of the Widow Mines did not fire there. Scans go down, clearing the creep spread. Let's see how well Clem can set up for this next engagement. He's going to have to bring his reinforcement across the map, and it looks like he is doing that. 4 Banelings blowing up 3 Widow Mines there. Good trade for Serral. Serral has the bank. He's got a bit of a worker advantage. He's been mining a bit more for a little bit longer. I'd like to see more of those Ling Bane run-bys. That caught Clem off guard, and it should have done a lot more. He blundered it. He'd set off all of his Banelings when he didn't need to. He still could do very well, but attacking front on... Wait, there's no Widow Mines. There's no Widow Mines. This is a good fight for Serral. The Widow Mines are not burrowed. He gets a Thor, gets some units, but does lose a lot of Banelings. The Stim Bio, completely unafraid. Clem needs to hit that Widow Mine production and get them down on the front line right now. Sneaky Widow Mine there behind the grass. Serral takes it out without letting it fire. Another Widow Mine there. Clem's sneaky, tall grass Widow Mines have not been landing the way he wants to. 3-3 upgrades do go down. Looks like Serral didn't realize the infestation pit was finished, so he built a second one. Big mistake for him. He's going to come around this bottom side. If he could get the command center, that'd be big. How many mutas is this? Not bad. That's the full 23. That's every single Mutalisk on the map right now. If he gets this command center, that would be massive. The SCVs can try to repair it to buy time, but there's not many Marines nearby. The SCVs are going down to the bounce damage. Oh man, that command center is taking a beating. Don't, just finish it. Finish it. Don't you dare let that survive. Okay, he gets it down. Really nice play here by Serral. Gets the Widow Mine in the natural. Mass repair ain't gonna help you there. Oh, he gets a Widow Mine. Gets another Widow Mine. Ooh, big boy Serral focusing down all the key targets, and I thought he might have let the advantage slip away, but when you look at mutas, you see players who are crazy aggressive and wild, and then you see Serral. He's so clean and organized in his play. Oh man, okay. Nice pincer there for Clem. Does get a bunch of those Mutalisks down. 9 mutas in total have fallen. 6 mutas in that run by. It was still well worth it. Pulled the whole army home. With the Ultra Cavern on the way, 3-3 Adrenal Glands, it's going to be much better for Serral. I want to see him keep backstabbing, though. I'd like to see him maybe smash this planetary on the north side. I don't think he needs to just sit back and let Clem set up for a push. This is a good fight for Serral if he can take the Medivacs out. He's got to click the Medivacs, though. Oh, he didn't quite click on him. Banelings are still rolling on forwards. Command Center so exposed there. I definitely would have gone for the Command Center kill. It's 400 minerals of value. Serral canceling the hatchery in the bottom side. And Clem somehow standing his ground in the north. Serral's going to have to gather up on the south and try to overwhelm this. The Marine Marauder Mine doing exactly what it wants to, which is set up an ideal push position. New 5th Command Center coming out for Clem. It's been delayed a long time. Clem's bank is not looking all that healthy, but Serral's unit comp of Lingbane Muta is not good against Biomine Thor. That being said, there's only 6 Widow Mines, and they're spread very far, very thin. As a result, if he can fight where the Widow Mines aren't, that's going to be very bad for Clem. Oh, this is a weird position right now. The Marines are a little clumped up there, but yeah, Serral takes a bit of an awkward fight. He's got 4 Ultras on the way. He just lost a lot of units. This is really scary still. This army is hard to take out with Serral's army. You wish you had something like Lurkers that would really disrupt this army of Clem. Banelings blowing up on Marauders and Thors. Oh man, this is a terrible fight. Serral, why is he fighting here? There's no reason. He's got to wait for his Lings and Ultras to rebuild. He does pull back at the last second. Could have done that a little bit earlier. Lings running in on the south side. He's going to try and delay this, get some SCVs maybe before the command center finishes. These sort of moves are splendid, and what he needs to do more of. Look at that. Mass missile turret is up for Mr. Clem. 8 turrets on the top side. He's also getting a big mass drop going. Serral's into Ultras, but he doesn't have Infestors yet. He's got to keep working on his tech. He's going to need to take some more gases on these bases. Actually, he's got a crazy gas income, never mind. But he's going to need to get either Infestors or Lurkers out. He's got to get something of that nature. Otherwise, we've got Clem adding Ghosts. He's getting into the late game tech, and Serral's got a bit of a meaty pounding army. Needs it to go a bit better. Widow Mine in the north side, not able to fire. Mutas are still getting decent value, but there's only 13 of them. They don't really have the lethal killing power and diving power they used to. Oh, Liberator comes in. Queen's cleaned it up. Bio's going to stim in on this side. Army pulls back. A couple Banelings and an Ultra think about engaging. They choose to go back. Good pick off for Clem if he can get out of there. That is potentially a big if. The Mutas are right here. He picks up, saves all but 3 Marines. One of the Medivacs might go down. The Muta's trying to chase him. The Lingbane Ultra hot in his tail, but not willing to chase across the bridge. Wait, no, he is. Serral's going to continue. That's a scary angle to fight, mate. And he does end up backing off. Serral unable to find his way in. I'd like to see him split his army up and start roaming the map. Those sensor towers seem to be giving him a little bit of PTSD. I think he's way too worried about walking into sensor tower vision, but even that does force a response. He's adding Corruptors right now. He doesn't have a great Aspire, so he just wants something that's more solid in the anti-air to deal with the Medivacs. A lot more Banelings, still no Infestors, still no Lurkers. That worries me. I think if he just gets Infestors, Infestor Broodlord, that would be okay. Good spready for him. Thor's in the open, but he doesn't know about it. There we go, he sees him. I don't know how Clem's surviving in this game. I feel like Serral had so much momentum for so long, but this is probably just the way it is on Stargazers. It's hard to find a fight to finish the game as Zerg gets one of the Thors. The Ghosts are going to be in trouble. The Banelings rolling in. Beautiful spready here from Clem. The Banelings don't really seem to find the big, hot, juicy angles they want to, but the Ultras have cleared the mineral line at the same time. 18 workers going down is no mean amount of damage. That is a very beautiful amount of damage. Corruptors need to get out of there, though. Oh, they are actually taking out a few Medivacs. Looks like a drop came in on the other side as well. Clem trying to counter-strike. Corruptors are going to trade for Medivacs. Serral says any trade's a good trade. Maybe it's an accident. I'm not quite sure. Gold base is in trouble. He's going to get it. Gold base cancelled. Good moves for Clem here. Very well done. These Corruptors here ready to deal with the Liberators. The Lings coming in en masse. Only one Ultra. It's mostly Lingbane Corruptor right now, which is not bad up against this. But the Planetary Finish, I don't think that's a good fight for Serral. Oh, the Widow Mines. Get a bit of friendly fire there. The Lings actually pouncing. Killer Instinct for Serral. Is it going to backfire? It very well may, as he throws away a giant amount of supply and he does not crack the base. This is looking bad for Serral in the trading. He's down 8,000 resources lost. Clem has stabilized with extra orbitals. He's got those 3 extra orbitals. He's got the planetary up on the 6th base, and that means his income is roaring. Serral lost his gold. Serral lost that base again, and he's just gonna tap out. Wow. Was that an early GG? I think so. I think it was. I think no. Sorry, is what I meant there. Because his income is so bad, he's about to lose his gold base. He can't defend it. I said I think so, and I said I meant to say I think no. I mean, that's, yeah, losing this base was huge. He's just got so few minerals. Wow, what the hell, man? When did this base get sniped the second time? Let's check that really quickly. It's got sniped, and then this drop did come in and snipe it again. A really bad area, I think, for Serral to be fighting. But he didn't want to let it go to the super late game. So I can understand why he went in there. Yeah, this was what we were talking about. Wait, because I thought this survived. Oh, but he went back in again as this fight was happening. Oh, man. And the Queens were all out of position. The Banelings got there a few seconds too late. Oh, that's rough. And Serral tried to go for that big decisive shove, but just attacking around this corner is so bad, man. If Serral had split a bunch of his army to come from up there as well, it might have worked out. But I think if you're attacking like around this corner, it's just way too awkward. And that was not the correct engagement angle. Clem, somehow, despite being on the back foot for such a long time, takes a 2-0 lead. All right, let's go, guys. Game number 3 down here in the bottom left side. We've got Serral. And he is up against the wall against this absolute beast, Clem, in the top right. Now, I think what I can see is just a little bit of tentativeness from Serral in this series. I think he's playing very well overall, but there is a little bit of tentativeness with decisive pushing and that sort of stuff. In both of the last maps, I think he could have kind of, you know, gone forward and maybe busted some stuff just a little bit more. Maybe those mutas bypassed into the main earlier. Not 100% sure, but I definitely think there was something he could have done. Really cool idea that just popped into my head. I know I'm a bit of a dreamer, but imagine if he Baneling dropped or did some Ling Bane drops to support the mutas, busting the inside base that had all the turrets at it. You just roll a few Ligs and Banes in there. Clem's like, what? Because Serral had control of the Watchtower for a lot of that game. That would have been cool. Either way, my point being, Clem is a player who makes Terran look really unfair if you don't address him on the fundamentals. And the fundamentals of ZvT are that it is an APM and attention war. It is a lot about who can be looking at the right place at the right time. And if you can distract your opponent and do something elsewhere and they can't micro it, well, they tend to have way worse results on both sides of the argument. So I actually feel like what you really want to look for is, can I distract you? It doesn't matter if you've got a sensor tower, still run some banelings in, run some lings in, run an army through the sensor tower and bust through that position anyway. I think Serral, though, was getting in this European mindset of sensor tower sees me, I can't go there if they see me. You got to realize how much APM it takes for Clem to move his whole army around, though, to defend a push. Even if you just posture through the sensor tower and then reposition somewhere else. I think Serral felt a little bit too much like he'd be giving too much information away. Sometimes you need to get a bit baboony and just go in there. Because at the end of that game, let's be honest, Serral went full baboon with that engagement around the corner anyway. Because he locked himself in a corner where he was desperate and he had to get something done. So I understand that there is a, you know, attacking in sensor towers doesn't feel good, but you bust in, you blow up the sensor tower, you get a bunch of damage, you get out, and you keep doing that going. I think Serral has good enough early game that he can keep this momentum rolling. 3cc once more for Clem. Now, even though he does it every game, the Europeans have said that his micro is too good, you just cannot kill him with a Ravager-ling attack. You cannot kill him with a Roach Shove. It never works, and that's why they never do it to him anymore. They said, look, Clem's just so good at holding that stuff that we just don't have faith in it to get us a win more than 1 in 8 games or something like that. They just feel like it's never a good gamble against a guy with micro as good as Clem. 3 queens are out, 2 more on the way. Reaper just hanging on out. Double engineering bay. Wow, 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 wow. Look at this. Oh my. Double NG bay before getting 2nd and 3rd barracks. Clem is going for exceptionally fast upgrades. So he's going to be aiming probably for a giant 2-2 timing. Could be an 8 racks. Wouldn't be a bad idea on this map. Once you get like tanks wedged forward here, or even up there, it can be very hard for the Zerg to deal with. 1-1 upgrade starting at 350. Get out of here, man. How many Hellions did he build? 4 Hellions, and then swaps this off, yeah? And he's going to build 1, 2, 3. Should be building the barracks there first, surely. So he's going to be building another reactor up there, but I think barracks and then reactor is the way to do it. So this allows him to get 3 barracks pumping Marines as early as possible, and then the starport will come in next. Now reactor still hasn't started. Bit of a delay on that for Clem. Reactor builds in just 10 seconds less than a barrack, so it's kind of vital that he gets that going, but he's at the moment prioritizing stim instead. Serral does see the 3 barracks building. He knows this is a big economic into just mass upgraded marine play for now. 2 Hellions at home to stop run bys. Reaper's going to try and scout. Serral says no. Clem, though, with some good movement. Keeps the Reaper alive for a little longer. Sees what looks like a pretty standard macro setup. Serral with the gas to try and save it. Clem's Reaper finally goes down. He was being very annoying, but he does get ripped down just before his jetpack takes him up to that cliff. Pretty late layer this game. Only went down about 4 minutes 50 for Serral. That's a very late one. But he's going double Evo, up to 4 gases. I expect a 4th base in the near future. And I assume it'll be down here, but he could buck the trend, go north and break these rocks. And indeed, he's going to. Oh, Serral, I like it. I like it. I actually think this is really good. I think that base can be very hard to defend. I think there's such good terrain in front of it for the Terran to take advantage of. And in this case, you break those rocks, you'll be doing good. Now, behind this, there's an armory on the way, which you'd think is very early, but it's actually not even in time to start 2-2 immediately. They're going to be delayed by a few seconds, but obviously close enough to tying that up. He needs about 400 gas, about 380 or something like that to start, 350, I guess, to start 2-2. So it's definitely something where the gas coming up out of these 3rd and 4th gas guys is crucial. 2-2 starts at 550. Wow. Up against 1-1 starting and roach speed. Yeah, this means Clem is going to have a brutal 2-2 push into the roaches. On the other hand, if you do an 8-rack style, which is what I predict him to do, just off this fast upgrades, I don't think he'll just play a macro game. I think he'll aim for a giant timing. Tech Lab. I think it'll be Tech Lab. It could be Widow Mines, but I think we'll see Siege Tanks coming in. And he actually does go Reactor, so he will be playing Widow Mines. Widow Mines are not great versus Roaches. He's going to build a bunker at his third, interestingly. Our fourth base finishing here at 6 minutes 30. Massing Roaches off 66 drones is Serral. He's starting one more drone. And a Nidus Worm. Oh, okay, so Serral's going to do a giant Roach all-in with 1-1. If he can hit just before 2-2 finishes, that will be brilliant. Because remember, even though 2-2 started at the same time, those upgrades take significantly longer to finish. If he can swarm the front and Nidus in the back, it's going to be huge. And Clem's going for a fourth. He's not doing the 8 racks that I talked about, which means he's actually cutting Marine production to do this. Notice the barracks are not all producing Marines right now. Clem is being so greedy. And against a 66 worker Nidus Roach attack, this is a powerful way to get yourself a simple victory as Serral. If you can just get in there and overwhelm a guy with no siege tanks on the high ground, that could be massive. Hellions there, Zerglings looking for the surround, but quick response from Clem. Gonna make it hard for him to do that. Marines on the south side will pick off this Overlord. Roaches are going to shove forward, though, and just says, hey, guess what? Your drop's out of position. Let's go, baby! Serral is going to dive on top. He could spread some Zerglings forward if he wants, but no, he's going to wait for the Biles. It takes 2 corrosive Biles to take out a Widow Mine. He gets them very nicely done. That command center is sticking out like a sore thumb. It is going to get taken out almost instantly. Nidus goes up behind it for the reinforced command center. It doesn't even get cancelled. The Marine Hellbat's going to try and fight, but look, his own choke point can be used against him here between the factory. Nidus Worm about to erupt inside that main base. I don't think Serral's even rallied to it yet, but it is going to cause a lot of fear for Clem, who is already pushed on back. Mass Queen pops out inside the main base. The Widowmine Bio rally will be occupied with that for a little bit. Biles are landing across this. The factory is very wounded. That factory going down means there will not be any more siege tanks. Mass Bile going down. The command center very low. Serral looking like he might take it out. The Queen's up in the main base. Will get surrounded and taken down. Not the greatest move there. Kind of sucks to lose those, but of course the Nidus was focused down, so he could not get back inside. Command center does escape to the high ground. Clem at half the supply of Serral. Serral rebuilds 4 queens, more roaches rallying. He starts his +2 range. His carapace should be coming in behind it. 2-2 may be finished, but there's no marauders, no tanks. The Marine Hellbat gonna try and take this on, but the Roach Ravager with the Biles just blitzing over the top. And Serral finally finds a way to punish the ever-greedy Clem. I mean, this was an extreme form of greed this time. It was not just 3cc, it was 3cc into double upgrades before extra barracks. No Banshees, no siege tanks. It's as greedy as it gets. And Serral did pick the right build for the match. Alright, it was looking like it might have been an easy road, but finally he does get stopped in his tracks in Game 3. Team Liquid's Clem. Now in the top right of Inside Out, it's his map pick, a map he'll be very happy with. And his opponent, Serral, on the bottom left side. This is a map where if it was anyone but Clem, I would be talking about the 2-base push. I'd be talking about command center first, 2-base tanks sieging here, and shoving forwards across this bridge, breaking into your territory, and the 3-base Zerg just unable to defend because he's a pro Zerg who's going to refuse to backstab and win the game. Just kidding. A lot of players know the 2-base push comes on this map a lot of the time, and they just refuse to backstab, and they try to fight it front on and get their butt kicked, and that only works if you really ambush and shut down the first wave. The thing is, that whole discussion might be mute, because it's Clem, and he probably just goes 3 command center. I mean, maybe he opens up double gas into a Banshee, double Banshee, then goes 3rd command center at about 4 minutes, but it's rare to see Clem commit to a 2-base push, even though it is all the rage, and the Korean players especially love it. Notice he rallies the worker building the gas to go around, and then mine from the inside, so the other workers can start mining optimally immediately. And that is the little detail. For those of you who often end up having your barracks finish, and then sometimes your Reaper can't start, that little detail might be the difference between having 50 gas the moment when it pops, and being at still 44 gas. There we go, Reaper on the way. One SCV will scout to see if it's hatchery first. The other one comes down for the command center. There we go, command center goes down, real nice. Now, if this does go to a longer game, let's think a bit about the architecture of this map. First of all, where does Serral set up his bases? Let's go to Serral's camera. I think that's his 3rd. I think he's going to take the straight line 3rd. I wouldn't mind the 4th down there. But breaking these rocks is kind of difficult and dealing with pushes over there, so we'll see exactly what he opts for. He hasn't pulled off gas yet. That tells us Serral's going to go for a quick link speed this game. Otherwise, he would have already pulled these guys down to get a bit more minerals and the quicker third up. I wonder if he goes for like a 2.5 base muta build. Nah, he would have stayed on gas for that with at least 2. Link speed does not start up though. That's interesting. There we go. Link speed does click. Just a little bit of a delay on that. Reaper's going to come in. He's been getting 1 Link kill pretty much every game. Serral this time a little bit cleaner with his rotation of his units, but no, there we go. Oh, that 2 red hit point Zerglings. Clem gets both of them. He gets out. Oh. And forces a Spore Crawler. And the 3rd command center drops. All of our talk about 2 base pushes doesn't matter. The thing is, Clem will be able to push down both flanks of this map. And like I said, there's some corridors. There are some areas. There are still some points where if these rocks aren't taken down, you can put tanks here and just use it to create an opening in the Zerg creep spread with your Marines that elevate onto the high ground with medevac drops. Serral's playing standard as ever, not trying anything too crazy. I think Roach Ravager opening still going to be very good, just doesn't have to do it as a big all-in like in that last game. Starport's on the way. He'd love to get a creep tumor. Serral's not letting him over there. Oh, he's going to get that one. No. He knew he was a bit too low on hit points to dive on that one. Hellion comes forward. 2 more Hellions on the way. Looks like it will be Banshee behind this. We haven't seen a lot of Banshee in this series. And I think that's a pretty effective way of doing it. Oh, he's going to go for a Linglong run by. Okay, 12 Zerglings could do really well. Let's see, 2 Hellions are going to pop at the perfect time. And Serral shows his hand a little bit early with 2 Lings ahead of the pack. He's going to go after this. Hellion doing a ring around the rosy there. SCV's being pulled. A nice quick evac, 1, 2 SCVs go down. If he can get 4 or 5 as well as the mining time, that'd be huge. Especially if he gets the Lings out here. 5 SCVs, very nicely done. And he gets at least 8 Zerglings out. Wow, that's really good damage for Serral. And behind it, he's also allowed to be a bit greedier at home. He only had 2 Zerglings. If the Hellions dove, they would have got damage, but that's a crazy move to dive your Hellions when you've got Lings inside your base. Because it means defending will be even more difficult. As it is though, Serral, he was up over 10 workers, about 15 workers for a few seconds there. Clem is catching up though. 3 SCVs building at a time. The Banshee's coming forward as well as the Hellions on the left side. That creep tumor goes down. Serral should replace that one pretty quickly. And indeed he does. He's got a nice tight Overlord formation. He doesn't risk putting the Overlords too far out because he doesn't want to give free kills to a Viking that could come out of Clem. And no Spore Crawler, no Lair. Oh no, no Spore Crawler, no Lair. Oh, Serral. Serral's even seen the cloak. He's literally seen the cloak upgrading on the starport. Oh no, Serral. Wait. It is a very slow cloak though. Oh, that's an insanely slow cloak. Oh, it's all fine then. Maybe he thought it was a fake. I don't know. He builds spores now. That's wild. 5-minute 30 cloak finishing is actually insane. It is insane. You guys can remind me of what Dot was saying in chat at the end of this game. Or series. Oh, here we go. Banshee's coming forwards. They're going to focus the hatchery down. That's a kill. I don't think the Queens can get there in time. They get off creep and they start waddling ever so slowly. Not to mention, Overseer's not ready just yet. Well, that's huge. Setting back the hatchery about a full minute here. That is massive. He leaves the drone alive, which is kind of hilarious. Goes after the Queens. Does let the hatchery rebuild. But that might be a kill. Queens need to get back down there. Doesn't have a lot of hit points on it. Oh my god, a second one on this would be massive. Serral preemptively cancels it and restarts it. When you restart it, it already starts with about 100 hit points. Which is why he did that. But he has to do it again! Oh, the Hellions are in! Oh no! Oh my god, completely caught off guard by the Banshees, and now the Hellions are on the ramp threatening. They're trying to bait and taunt those Zerglings into running up the ramp where they could get volleyed down. The Evo Chamber does not get down in time! Clem is roasting and rampaging through this Zerg base. The Lings are getting blitzed. Drones trying to fight against Hellions, and that's a little bit like sending your children into battle armed with bloody texters up against people with actual swords and shit. It's not a good idea. Drones, oh my god, just getting absolutely slaughtered. Dude, oh my lord. I don't know, mate. I don't know why this is popping into my head, but I feel like in this game, Serral has a peanut allergy, and Clem literally just grabbed a big wad of peanut butter, somehow got it into a ball, and threw it right into his face. I don't know why that's the analogy. I don't know why. It just popped into my head, but that feels like what just happened. Serral is in pain. He's going to try and shove an EpiPen in and recover. He's got the 4th base up. He's rebuilt drones during it. He's on 61 workers. If he can get an awesome fight, somehow this could do, but so much damage to get started. Clem has a 4th command center on the way. There's no pressure on him to do any more. If he gets more damage, that is just the cherry on top of the awesome cake that already is this match for him. Widowmine's coming in as well, meaning Lingbane's going to struggle to engage. He does have Baneling speed, does Serral. He's going to try and get over here. Where is Zerglings? He's got 8 Zerglings, 9 Banelings. That an army does not make. Couple of Banelings going to roll in for the run by. Here we go. Banshees in nearby. Let's see. Oh, they might get some big damage. If he can defend at home at the same time, that'd be great. Oh, Banelings get a big juicy. 6 SCVs, and they'll get a few more as well. Yep. Oh, not bad. 11 workers for 4 Banes. A very good trade there for Serral. Looks like a few Marines potentially went down as well. 1 Widowmine fires, but only gets 1 or 2 Zerglings. And that's a good hold for Serral. He's back up to 73 drones, and he says, yeah, I might be down, but I'm not out. D-bag gets in there. He does see the 4th CC's finished. You've got to feel bad about that as Serral. I like that he's doing small tactical run-bys. They cost him very little, but it buys him a bit of room. Now he's got to respread his creep, and he's got to stay solid. He has no Banelings on the right side. He's pulling his whole army to the left. A triple drop. Clem is going deep. Clem knows he has the momentum, and he wants to push that advantage. Serral doesn't even try to defend. He just gives it up. Problem is that stim on the right will overwhelm those queens if they focus fire. Those queens could be in trouble. There's no Banelings there to back it up. Serral's going to be quick on these transfuses. The Marine's not going to try and take the fight. Clem says, screw it, let's focus on the main base. He's got the Widowmines, he's got the Marines up here. He's going to try and bait Serral into some nasties. Ooh, Widowmine gets a few Zerglings, not too bad. Good spreadies from Serral. Serral up against the wall is a scary sight to behold. He's massing Lingbane right now. Ling's in the main base, going to try and stop a redrop. The medevac's going to rotate, though. Wouldn't be surprised to see a big scan come in here. Ooh, the Banelings shut it down, though. Oh, beautiful spready at the last second. The mass queen is in the bottom right. 10 queens, though, up against far too many Marines. The transfusers start to go down, and the queens, the hatchery, everything. But he's got so much to do right now. Serral has so little vision, so little room to work with. He should be able to defend this, though. If he quickly gets the Spore Crawler up, he can clean those Widowmines out. Great hold for Serral. Serral hanging on for dear life, showing what made him the insanely dominant force that he has been over the last 4 years in StarCraft 2. He has been an absolute monster, almost 5 years now of being at the top of his game, always making it to the top end of these tournaments. And here, in this lower bracket finals, he is faced with his biggest test yet. Getting massive damage from the Hellion Banshee. He has to fight back from down 40 supply versus a Terran. He cannot afford any bad Widowmine shots. He drags that Widowmine into the Terran. Those Marines all deep in the red. Beautiful play by him. A single Zergling sacrifices himself for the cause. The Lingbane trying to move forward as well. Trying to get on top of these Marines. The Medevac's trying to go to the left side. Widowmines are there as well. Hatchery's up. He's getting Hydras out. He's got Groove Spines. He needs Muscular Augments. It is halfway done. Lingbane looking for the spready. The Widowmines, the Marine Micro are very good, though. Attacking around this corner is always a little bit rough. Widowmines get a few decent hits. Nothing crazy, though. The Lingbane is still holding firm. Serral on 78 workers versus the 76. Clem getting towards the 5th base. The problem here is that Clem is not stiffing up in his play. If he was trying to force the issue, I think Serral would be getting ahead through these defenses. As it is, Clem is hitting all of his macro perfectly. He has 8 barracks with tech labs. He has a second factory. He has drilling claws. His 2-2 upgrades are in line with Serral's, which means his 3-3 will be on the way soon. Infestation Pit is only halfway done. Serral is clinging to life on lair tech, whilst Clem adds mass command center. Clem is preparing for the end game already. Good Baneling hit. Good detonation of that first Widowmine. Ooh, almost took a big mine hit there, but does pull back just in time. Very nicely done by Serral once again. Hanging on, holding on firm. That Widowmine, a decent... No, only got one or two Zerglings. Serral's... Oh, watch out, Serral! No! He did so many good ones, and he finally takes a big Zergling hit from the Widowmines. At least it's Zerglings, not Banelings, but it still does hurt. That Widowmine will friendly fire on the Marines more than the Zerg units. And Clem here, he lures the army out of position. He boosts towards the main. There's a Spore Crawler and some Zerglings there. It's not enough Zerglings, though. Clem's just going to drop right on top of it. That's what we call a Chad maneuver. That's when you have confidence. Even in the face of a very, very sexy Zerg player, you still go up and ask right for that Zerg's phone number. The Spore Crawlers do quickly run over to White Knight, that main base of Serral. The Hydraling Bane on the right side is going to try and come forward. This Widowmine doesn't get the best hit, just a few Zerglings. Ah, the second one there. It's always that second surprise one when Serral's eyes are already elsewhere that do get a pretty good hit. The Lingbane Hydra on the left side trying to gather together a defense. Clem is relentless. He will not give up this ground. He's got so much economy coming in behind it as well. Serral's been fighting very well, but he needs to push this back. If he can't actually push Clem back to his side of the map at some point, we know what happens in those games. We've seen it happen earlier today, and we know that he's got to push Clem back. My God, Clem bringing 10 Widow Mines, 2 Banshees and a mass of Marines here. Serral needs Banelings to defend this base. The Widow Mines are burrowing on top of his army. The absolute unmitigated savagery of Clem here. Just burrowing Widow Mines in range of morphing Banelings and saying, yeah, have fun spreading against that, Cocoons. The Cocoons right now having trouble. Serral's army in the bottom right needs to come up here. If he brings that army up, he defends, and he defends. He's got spores there as well. The drops almost fly into it and die. Is Clem getting ahead of himself? Is Serral making the impossible happen? He cleans all this up on the left, on the right. Serral, the big boy, the Finnish phenom, the monster who refuses to go down. What an absolute beast. Hydra Baneling on the right side. We've got 2 Vipers and Infestors. We've also got Carapace, plus 3 Carapace coming in for him as well. He's adding upgrades. The 3-3 for Clem did not start on time. He's not that far ahead on it. Clem has to pull back and gather up his forces. Now, it's still not bad for Clem. That's a 6th base, is it? 5th base. 5th base. The Planetary's almost there. And wow, Serral denies it. Nice moves for Serral. Serral's going to try and get aggressive at this stage. Ooh, a couple good Widowmine hits do put an end to that foray into the Terran territory. Infestors with Burrow coming out, as well as the Vipers. So Spellcasters. Vipers very good at dealing with the Medivacs, wearing them down with Parasitic Bomb. You can also abduct Liberators, but here we go. I was about to say, oh no, this surprised him, but Serral not surprised at all. He's doing a great job of keeping a healthy complement of units on the bottom right and the top left at the same time. I'd like to see him start breaking the rocks, giving himself some more avenues for forwards movement across the map. I also feel like with Ghosts barely on the map, this is oh god, great fungal, great fungal. He loses the Infestor, but he gets a good fungal. The Hydras should gun down those Libs. The Libs still take out a few Hydras. Oh my god, Clem focus fired. Who focus fires Libs in that scenario? Clem focus fired his Liberators so they were one-shotting Hydras. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone focus fire Liberators before. I've never done it. I'm guessing it's something if you're as good as Clem you do. The Baneling Hydra coming in from the right side, starting to focus down the Medivacs here, but Clem saves most of the units, starts to pull back. The fact that Clem's kept that command center alive in the top is very good for him, but a few of these Medivacs. Oh my god, another one! A few full Medivacs go down. Serral, he should shove. He should shove the natural right there and roll Banelings into maybe the 3rd base. That base was wide open, but Serral, he says, no, I want to defend. I want to be solid. Parasitic bombs on the Medivacs. Nice moves for him. If he could get some abducts would be huge. That Viper throws another parasitic bomb. Ooh, big Widowmine here into the Lings and the Vipers. That command center very wounded. Serral, click it. You know you want to click it. Click with your Hydralisk Schlick. The Bio Mine coming out to the left side. Serral should get that command center on the disengage. He should. Serral, indecisive. He lets the command center live. Serral's back in this game. Can you believe it? But he cannot afford to get indecisive now. This is an impossible comeback. I cannot believe he's gotten into this situation. This is absolutely wild that he's in this spot. He's got to be careful. Okay, here we go. Biomine moving down the right side. We've got Widowmines there as well. Marauders hanging out, having a good time. Okay. This is kind of crazy. He's down 6,000 resources as Serral, but that's not too bad. If he can get that 6th base on the left established, if he can get a few more of these cheeky fungals as well. Watch out, though. These Widowmines, they weren't really finding success in the early game, but it's these layered Widowmines that sometimes do land the big juicies. Oh my god, his spreads were perfect. Serral defuses all the mines, chases this army back, but there's another planetary. My god. Clem has his entire half of the map sectioned off. He's got 5 orbitals behind it. He's adding ghosts for the late game efficiency. And that is a big problem for Serral, who does not have a lot of bank to fall back on. He's going to take out some of these Widowmines before they fire. Nice moves for Serral there. This Lingbane Hydra on the left. If he can go forward and deny that base, that would be a good move. I'd like to see him run forward and just kill it with these Hydras, honestly. I feel like Serral is getting pushed back psychologically into his side of the map. And as good as he is at defending, you cannot win a game defending against Clem. It simply does not work. This man will force you into the open ground. If you do not sally forth beyond the trenches, go out into no man's land, go over the top, then you will not find success. It's, you know, anyone who studied World War I history might be like, oh, I don't know about that, buddy, but I've seen the way Clem plays StarCraft. And I guarantee you that is the case. The Infestor, unfortunately spotted by the turret, stumbles into its doom. This command center will be going down. The Widow Mines do block those Zerglings. Serral does take out the command center, but Banelings to Planetary, as good as it is at busting it down, it usually works best when you're already ahead on economy. Trading a base for a base may favor Clem in this scenario, especially when you're using Banelings to kill command centers. Units lost tab, 7,000 resources in favor of Clem. Clem has another orbital. He could float down to that right side potentially. And Serral desperately needs to regain that base. Oh no! Big Widow Mines just cleared about 16 Banelings. He gets a big fungal on the army, but most of the Banelings just got taken down, so some of the units do get picked up and saved. Widow Mines get some big juicies on the Zerglings. Last minute split mitigates it. Only 7 Zerglings go down. New Viper comes in, gets a parasitic bomb off. EMP lands on the Viper, but it already used its spell. Ling Bane Hydra trying to bust this base. Serral realizes if he can take this base out efficiently enough, he might have this game, but the ghosts are there to punish, and that means the snipes in the retreat could be deadly. Serral gets out of range though. Most of his Hydras look like they are going to potentially escape. Oh no, the Widow Mines have recharged on the retreat. He doesn't have any Overseers. His army's getting chased down right now. He needs more Banelings. He needs an Overseer. Clem has a giant army chasing him. 15 Widow Mines in the mix. Are you kidding me? 15 Widow Mines. He's going to need Banelings to roll into that. He's not going to be taking that out with a big swarm of Zergling Hydra. There's just too many Widow Mines. You can't dodge all of those shots. The Infestor comes forward. He's trying to buy time for the Banelings. If he can roll some Banes into this, that could be big, especially with the cheeky Fungal Boy. Fungal Boy on the right side, getting ready, popping up, popping down. You can see he's excited, poking his head out of the ground. He wants to land the big, juicy Fungal and convert with the Banelings. If the Banelings can convert on top of this will be absolutely massive. Serral is playing out of his mind. The fact that he's alive in this game, from how the early game went, is insane. No! The scan gets the Infestor. The Widow Mines clear the front layer. That Widow Mine kills every Baneling. It's a disaster from the one Infestor that might have clinched him victory in that battle and allowed him to cascade across the map for the win. To a scan and a deadly field of Widow Mines. Let's watch that last little moment one more time. That looked like it might work out, man. Maybe he could get that base back up and do something. But look at this. The scan and then these Widow Mines, and I think Clem might have even targeted it. So he scans, he kills it. Let's watch this from Clem's vision. He burrows that mine. And he goes backwards. And this Widow Mine here kills 14 Zerglings. That one kills 10 Zerglings. And then this one, which he didn't target it just happened to target because it burrowed late, kills all the Banelings. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. And then 2 more Widow Mines as well. Dude, hats off to Serral though. That was one of the most epic comeback trains I have ever seen, especially against a guy like Clem. The fact that Serral survived to the 18-minute mark, made it that close, killed a bunch of command centers. Excellent play by Serral. Just took a bit too much damage to the Banshee Hellions earlier on in the game. And that is one of the downsides of this bottom right hatchery. I love this hatchery for defending later, but it's hard to get creep out there to defend it from Banshees. And Serral unfortunately fell victim to that. Clem, the beast, goes to the grand finals from the losers bracket with a 3-1 revenge match. Well played, Clem.